Hi everyone, this is Cyber here. I'm here today to talk to you about Hide or Die, a special horror royal game where it takes 16 players versus 1. They started their Kickstarter on 5/19/2018. This video is to tell you exactly what Hide or Die is, to show you some pictures, show you gameplay, show you some alpha footage from when I played it, and also talked about exactly what the Kickstarter is, what they want to bring to the game, why they do the Kickstarter, and just tell you about my experience and some of my friends' experience with this game, and also to help support the game. Without further ado, let's get into and find out what exactly Hide or Die is. Hide or Die is a special horror royale. Multiplayer player count is 16. It's planned to launch in October of this year. Perspective is first person, and it's planned on retailing at $19.99, which is US dollars. Hide or Die is a asymmetrical horror royale where all players start together in an underground bunker. As the doors slide open, the survivors flood the area looking for items, supplies, objectives, and if they choose to, the darkness. If a survivor gets too close to the darkness, it consumes them and turns them into a crazed, corrupted killer. The remaining survivors will need to set up traps, use supplies, traverse the dangerous environment, and activate fuse boxes around the level to reroute the power from the bunker to the light tower. When fully powered, the tower illuminates the area, clearing the darkness, and the remaining survivors can choose to travel to the tower for temporary safety, store their collectibles items before moving on to the next section, or choose to escape if they decide to bypass the tower. They risk their collection items will be earned bonus rewards and SP for how long they can survive. Ultimately, the survivors will need to continue to travel through the world until they either become consumed and kill other survivors, or until they are killed themselves. Each time a section is cleared and the darkness leaves the consumed because of their poor performance and waits to be found again. In the next section, starting the cycle over, the remaining survivors will die off until the inevitable scenario happens when the hunter is pit against the final survivor. They will now have the opportunity to find an equalizer in the world, a weapon. The two will enter a tense final showdown where only one will be left standing. You're sitting here wondering, wasn't that gameplay look amazing? Why did they need a Kickstarter? Well, while they do have a sizable amount of the game done already, we are looking to raise funds to polish our characters and animation, building a unique and fun to play hunters, and further expanding the game to what it truly is. The game will release this fall, regardless of the outcome of the campaign. Yes, the game will still be made. But the reason we are here is because we are asking for your help to push the game to the next level of quality and content. This is why we are offering exclusives for who believe in what we are building. We want to be a part of creating it and backing us. And I will show you screenshots of some what it looks like so far. But they want to add more maps, more hunters, more different killers. They want to make kills. They want to do a whole bunch of stuff, and they always listen to your feedback of what you would like. Now, of course, they have to balance it out to make the gameplay fun, but they're always willing to add stuff, listen to your feedback. So this game's core features are its worlds. Our particular level system focuses players to create and execute their survival strategies on the fly. The locations and supplies, items, objectives, and the darkness are randomly ensured that each time you try to survive or kill, it's different from the last. The most important part of the system is the particular journey to survive through seamlessly handcrafted environments, from suburban neighborhoods to custom-day sets or to backwood farm swamps. You cross into unpredictable scenarios from all angles. This part of the particular system allows matches to continue on as long as it's required. There's actually no end. Only the most skilled will remain. There's two distinct parts of our particular system that allows us to balance the importance of gameplay, organization, level design, with replayability and always evolving strategy of particular content. From our take on the genre, we have a much larger player count that focuses more out movements by survivors. Running around out in the open will surely get you noticed and killed. The hunter is powerful. The particular nature of the level design does a fantastic job to populate controlled by rewarding those who are particularly in their actions and punish those who are reckless. The world is unforgiving. The darkness. This is essentially the item in the world that corrupts and changes the survivor into a killer. If it's looked at for too long, this lets the players dramatically control who becomes the hunter. It can appear anywhere throughout the world, but can be found by following the darkness trails that whips across the level. These trails always point to the corrupted source. The players assumed by it will be the killer for the current section, as they try to kill all the survivors. If they fail to prevent the survivors from rerouting the power to clear the darkness, then it leaves them, which returns them back into who they were before the corruption, a survivor. The darkness then moves into the next section, looking for the next survivor to corrupt. Showdown, where the only players that remain are the hunter and one survivor. The game enters a showdown mode. The level fills with that start fog, limited players' availability, and focused closer attacks. A few weapons the survivor can use to defend themselves spawn around the map. These weapons aren't shown on any minimap or HUD, and players will need to search for the weapon to stand a chance against the much more powerful hunter. All ammo for the weapon is very limited. If you miss your shot, you're surely to die. By this point, the darkness has consumed most of the world, and your only way out of it is by destroying the person consumed by it. Quite possibly someone you can team with to get to this point. Loot. The items that the player can collect throughout the level are used to upgrade and unlock their clothes, survival items, hunter weapons, skins, character traits and abilities, items of effectiveness, and a lot more. It is integrated to our progression and leveling up system. It certainly isn't required as the main objective results in the biggest reward, but every little bit counts. If you want to have the loadout and customization you desire, there's also equipment like stun guns, camouflage clothing, pepper spray, noisemakers, and traps are just some of the things that can be found in the world. Items are reported in helping you survive the darkness, wild animals, and the hunter. Equipment can be upgraded and skilled up just as your player can be. So it opens up a lot of possibility for specializing playing styles. Progression is something essential to creating a sustainable player base that keeps people playing longer and more often. Players will collect supplies and gain experience points based on how well they play, whether that is as hunter or as survivor. Completing the final fuse boss, for example, would be worth more SP than the first due to the difficulty. If players survive longer and or don't stash their supplies collection between sections, they will earn bonus multipliers for experience and rank up faster. Ranking is as well as utilizing your supplies found can go towards new clothing items, various skins, items, weapons, upgrading, and tools to use during gameplay such as traps. The phone. Each survivor has a phone that allows them to text chat between each other. It also has apps on it such as flashlights and a map of the area. Admin messages show in the phone when players die and the group count is updated so you always know how close you are to be the last man standing. We'll still expanding and exploring how you can make it more engaging and center of the gameplay. The fuse bosses. Each section will have a varied number of fuse bosses located in the world. These have switches that are randomly generated and have to all be turned on to enable that zone's power. The light bulbs show you how many total fuse bosses are needed / remaining, as well as if the fuse boss needs to be completed or already has been. Denote by the white light. The switches use the top 2 rows on your keyboard and the ordering of the switches as well, as their on and off state is randomized each time. This ensures the survivors have to balance their focus on turning on switches as well as looking over the shoulder in case a hunter or nature has crept up on them. The light towers. These large towers are the destination of the rewrited power from the safety bunker VIA of the fuse box through the level. When illuminated, they have enough light to clear the darkness from the area and rid the darkness from the corrupted survivor. These towers also provide a brief safe haven for survivors where they can store their items and their supplies found. These secure their loot before proceeding to the next part of the world. They can skip the safe haven and rest their loot for bonus multipliers to their SP and projection. Alright guys, so the next part I'm going to talk about is the hunter gameplay and classes. Now this is a lot of info, so if I mess up any words or any info or I stutter on words, I do apologize. I'm reading a large section of detail and I will try to pronounce and read it the best of my ability. I just want to let you know that now. So the base game will launch with 3 different hunters, each of which have different playstyles, equipment, and abilities. These will be tied into the projection system detailed above and have weapons and ability stats and lock associated with them. Once the survivor gets too close to the darkness, they will be consumed and transferred into whichever hunter class they have pre-selected. The player with the only hunter for the current session is tasked with killing all the remaining survivors. If a hunter is unable to prevent the survivors from rerouting the power to the light tower, they will have to rush to the light tower to rid themselves of the darkness so they can survive into the next section. The cycle continues until there are only remaining one single survivor and 1 hunter, where they enter showdown mode. Now this is the first hunter. It's called the Fisherman. This hunter uses a modified fish finder. He can scan the area for sounds using a paramonic mic. The best way to combat against this hunter type is to use hideable across the world to muffle your sound and be sure not to sprint for too long. He may not be able to see you running, but he'll definitely be able to hear you. His weapon of choice is a harpoon gun, which has a nice ability to kill from range, but if he misses, you should only be able to escape. The second hunter is called Child. The thing about children is that they're unpredictable. Worse than that is that they're able to climb into places you'll never expect them. The special ability of this hunter type is to hide in tall grass out of sight or up above where you wouldn't expect them. He has the ability to ambush kill survivors and use his toys as weapons. He is more in your face melee kind of killer because of the speed and ability to leap around the environment. And the last hunter they have available in the basic game is Scientist. This hunter character utilizes technology in their weapons. One of their abilities is to place down electrified barriers that he can use to trap I cannot talk, guys. I apologize. That he can use the traps to survivors into a area for a limited time. This allows them to accidentally close off sections of the level and dramatically change how the survive have to move around the world to complete fuse bosses. Their weapons of choice is electrified baseball bat. This is much more of a plumbing type of weapon that gives you a nice feeling of beating survivors down until they die. Alright guys, there are 2 other hunters in the game, but you can only get them through certain backer tiers. One is Cremus. He's like the character from the Cremus movie. He's like the evil Santa Claus creature. And then the other one is called the Undertaker. They haven't dropped any info about him, but I'm pretty sure he's like a shadow. He looks dead. Maybe he looks like Grim Reaper. They haven't put any info out for that. But the game only comes with 3 hunters in the basic game. So if you want the 2 other ones, like Cremus and the Undertaker, you have to back at that certain levels that's going to give you it. So I really want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the info I put out, the video. I hope you guys go and actually back it somewhat. At least pick up a copy of the game and try it out. Because I think they're doing an amazing job. I think they are doing different things than normal other asymmetrical horror games are doing, like Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th to me anymore, it's just not scary anymore. They made Jason not scary anymore. Dead by Daylight, I really wasn't a fan of running around in a small map. The killers are just way too overpowered. There's no way to really, except circle, and Dead by Daylight I couldn't get into. I played it for a while, but I just could never really get into it. Friday the 13th I played for a long time. I even backed that game, but I think they're falling into the traps of DLC with just getting the basic people's emotes and stuff. That's fine to have, but if the game's not scary anymore, then don't call it an asymmetrical horror game. Now, there is another game coming out that's called Last Year. As you've seen on my channel, I do have some gameplay footage of it, but to me, that looks more like Left 4 Dead. It doesn't look scary at all. It looks more silly to me. So this is the next game I really am excited for, and I really hope it does get backed so they can do everything they want to do. I don't want to ramble on too much, guys, but I really wanted to show the support in this video and tell you guys exactly what this game is, and just show how amazing job they did with not even have the Kickstarter yet. And if they get this Kickstarter funded, it's just going to make the game 10 times more better, or 100 times more better, actually. Ian Laughing Hyena, if anybody knows him, he backed it at the level 150. So he's actually going to have a house in it, and he's going to have pictures in it and stuff. I am thinking about upgrading to a higher package. I just got to make sure I have the money to do it. Even if you don't have a lot of money, any money is good. It just helps them out get to the level they want. I just want to say thank you for checking out the video, and if you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs up, and also at least go check out their Kickstarter page. And if you can't back it, at least share it, or share this video to really show support that you're like, hey, I might not be able to back you up in the Kickstarter, but if it does come out, I'm going to pick it up, or I can show it out to the fans, even if you tweet it out, or show it to your favorite streamer or something. Anything will help out, just get the word out there to help these guys make a great game. Alright, that's all I have to say, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great night.
That was a vertical slice of some of our gameplay. Now we're going to show you a condensed version of how the rest of the match plays out.
Attention viewer, if you enjoyed that video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe.